Hey, first grade, Miss Mittrick here. Today we are going to start our long story. So this story, as you can see by looking at the title, is called Amazing Animals, and it is by Gwendolyn Hooks. So this story is a contemporary nonfiction selection. So nonfiction, remember, means not fake or not false, meaning it is a true story, and it is going to be a story that is used for pleasure, meaning for our enjoyment, and for information. So they're going to teach us things about these animals. All right, so we are also going to talk about the features for each animal and how it helps them to live. So for example, when we read our high frequency word paragraph, we talked about the polar bears and that they have fur to keep them warm. So we'll learn about certain things about dolphins, maybe giraffes, about what they have on their body to keep them safe in their environment, or maybe to help them find food, or to protect themselves from a predator or someone who wants to eat them. My goodness. All right, so we are going to turn to the first page. And this is a super easy peasy lemon squeezy one sentence page. My goodness. All right. Let's start with our sentence and we'll read it all together. Remember, the first time that we read this, we read it nice and slow because we have a lot of words that we haven't read yet in our story. Ready, go. Animals have many things that help them live. Big eyes, long beak, thick fur, big squeak. Did anybody notice anything about these words? Anybody notice anything? I'm going to read it one more time. Big eyes, long beak, thick fur, big squeak. If you notice that beak and squeak rhyme, you are a really good listener. Awesome job. All right, so how do you think big eyes on a camel, a long beak on a duck, thick fur on a bear, and a big squeak from a dolphin, how do you think that helps the animals live? Now I'm going to give you a long pause, so I want you to think about what those things could help them with. Go ahead and take a minute. Okay, so big eyes might help you see things maybe from far away, or so you have a bigger peripheral vision, which means you can see on the sides, further out on the sides. A long beak might be used to reach food that's either far away or like maybe down in a hole somewhere. And then we already talked about the polar bear's fur. It keeps them warm in the winter and in the cold. And then a big squeak from a dolphin might mean that it'll warn animals and say, stay away from me. All right, let's turn to the next page. Okay, so each of these sections are going to have a title, and it's going to tell us the name of our animal, and then they're going to give us some big paragraphs underneath. All right, so our first animal is, let's read the title together. Ready, go. Polar bear. Polar bear. Nice job. All right, so let's read these few sentences, and they're going to tell us some interesting information about polar bears. Ready, go. A polar bear has thick fur. Each hair is shaped like a tube. The hair is clear like glass. The sun makes it look white. How does thick white fur help? So this is going to give us a little question throughout our story, and then they answer it. So we can think of what we think the answers are first, and then see if our guess or our prediction is correct. So if a polar bear has thick fur, and it's clear, but the sun makes it look white. How does thick fur help? So I want you to think about it for a couple seconds. All right, so how does the fur help a polar bear? You're right. If you said it keeps them warm, for sure. But I wonder how the white helps the polar bear. Let's see what they tell us. Okay, let's read it all together. Ready, go. Thick fur helps polar bears stay warm. The color of their fur looks the same color as snow. This helps them hide. Where is this cute little polar bear hiding? All right, so first let's answer their question. Where is the cute little polar bear hiding? Where's that polar bear hiding? You're right, under its mom, underneath its mom. So if there was a bigger predator or maybe a male polar bear, she's protecting it, and he or she, this little baby polar bear, is hiding so that other bear doesn't even know that it's there. All right, so we already knew that thick fur helps polar bears stay warm. What was the other thing that the polar bear's fur does? What's the other thing? You're right. It helps them hide. Does anybody know what it's called? I'm sure Treon knows. Does anybody know what it's called when an animal uses what it's on its body to hide in its natural habitat? Does anybody know what that's called? If you said camouflage, you are correct. So when you blend in with your background, you are camouflaged. So the white fur helps them camouflage in the white snow. Awesome job. All right, let's look at our next animal. Our next animal is an elephant. So remember, we're going to read the title of the page first, and then we'll move on to the rest of the sentences. Ready? Go. Elephant. An elephant has 2 long teeth and a long nose. The teeth are called tusks. The nose is called a trunk. How do tusks and a trunk help? All right, so for those of you who didn't know that tusks are teeth, they just jut out of their face. Those are teeth. And then we all know that the long nose that they have off their face is a trunk. So I don't know if you guys know, but I want you to think, and let's think about how we can answer this question. How do tusks and a trunk help? I'm going to give you a couple seconds to think about it before we find out on the next page. All right, let's see if you predicted correctly. Let's turn to the next page to get some more information. Oh, I see what this elephant's doing with its trunk, but I don't know if we're going to, about that tusk yet. All right, let's read together. Ready, go. Elephants use their tusks to scrape bark off trees. Then they eat the bark. Elephants use their trunk to get water. Sometimes they spray water at each other. Oh my goodness, those silly elephants. Okay, so what were the 2 things that they use their tusks, which are like teeth that just grow out long on their face, and their trunk, which is their nose? What do they use those for? Go ahead and tell me. You're right. So they use their tusks to scrape bark off trees, and then they eat it, which I never knew that elephants did that. And they use their trunk to get water. So sometimes they'll get the water and spray it in their mouth to drink and swallow it. And other times they'll spray the water on their backs to cool themselves off. Nice job. All right, our next animal is a camel. Now, we kind of learned about a little bit about camels when we were talking about different types of places, like a month or two ago. And we learned that camels live in dry places, remember, with all the sand? And they use this hump and that's where they keep their water, extra water. So if they're going for a long walk and they don't have any water, it's in that hump in their body and they'll drain it out of there. All right, so let's read our title, camel, and let's read our paragraphs. Ready? Go. Some kinds of camels have only one hump. Some have two. All camels have 2 rows of eyelashes. How do humps and thick eyelashes help? Uh-oh, I already gave you the answer for the hump. Goodness gracious, Miss Mitchell, get it together. So, how are all of the camels alike? I'm going to give you a few seconds to think about how are all camels alike. If you have to go back, it says, all camels have 2 rows of eyelashes. Very interesting. So we're going to find out what that's all about on the next page. But how are camels different? How are they different? If you have to go back again, it says some camels have only 1 hump. Some have 2. So if you look in this picture, this camel only has 1 hump. So sometimes they have boop, boop, 2 humps on their back. All right, so we are going to find out how humps and thick eyelashes help. Turning to the next page. Okay, let's read this all together. A camel's hump has fat inside. On long trips, a camel's body uses that fat for food. A camel's eyelashes keep out the desert sand. Look at these long eyelashes. So if you look, they're super, super long. We know our eyelashes aren't that long. Okay, so how does the camel's hump help and the eyelashes? Okay, I'm going to give you a couple seconds to think about it. All right, so a camel's hump has fat in it. And then the camel's body uses the fat for food when they go on a long trip. And then a camel's eyelashes keep out the desert sand. So for those of you who have been to the beach, which I think we've talked about this before, most of you have been to the beach before, whether it's on a lake or at the ocean. Sand can get in your mouth and your eyes and your ears and your hair and in your bathing suit, and it's really annoying. So camels don't have hands to wipe it out of their eyes or brush it off their head, so they have those eyelashes to make sure that it doesn't fly in their eyes. All right, let's learn about our next animal. All right, let's read our title and then our sentences. Duck. A duck has webbed feet. Each foot has 3 toes. A duck has a beak too. How do webbed feet and a beak help? All right, so we know that ducks have webbed feet. You can see their feet in there. There's only 1, 2, 3 toes, and then there's skin in between that makes them webbed. And then they have their beak, and we already talked about the beak at the beginning of our story. So I want to give you like a couple seconds just to think about what the webbed feet do, because we already talked about the beak. Go ahead and take a couple seconds. All right, let's find out. Let's turn the page. Okay, let's read it all together. Ready, go. Ducks use their webbed feet as paddles. Webbed feet help ducks swim fast. Ducks use their beaks to eat plants. This duck uses its beak to clean its friend. Very interesting. Okay, so I want you to tell me out loud what ducks use their webbed feet for and what they use their long beaks for. Okay, I'm going to give you a couple seconds to tell me. Ready, go. All right, so remember, you can always look back. So ducks use their webbed feet as paddles, and that helps them swim super fast. So if you've ever used flippers in the pool or in the ocean, they make you go really fast because it's like a webbed foot. And then they use their beaks to eat plants or to clean your friends. So some of you, I'm sure, have seen a duck putting its beak on another duck's back, and that's helping them clean each other. Just like how you see monkeys pick bugs off of each other, that's how ducks help keep each other clean. All right, let's turn the page and find out about our next animal. Ooh, a giraffe. Okay, let's read the title, and then let's read our sentences. Ready, go. Giraffe. A giraffe has spots. A giraffe also has a long neck. How do spots and a long neck help? All right, so how do spots and a long neck help? This picture is already giving us an idea of how that long neck helps. So I want you to think about it. I'm going to give you a couple seconds, and then we'll find out on the next page. Okay, let's see if you were correct. Let's read it all together. Ready, go. A giraffe's spots help it hide. The giraffe's long neck helps it reach the leaves of trees. This giraffe is bending her long neck down to kiss her little giraffe. That's really sweet. Okay, so how do the spots help it hide? And how do its long neck, how does its long neck help it? Ready? Go ahead and think about it. Say it out loud. Tell a friend. Tell your mom. Tell somebody. All right, so remember, you can always look back. So a giraffe's spots help it hide. Who do you think it's hiding from? If you said lions, you're probably right. And then its long neck helps it to reach the leaves of trees. So if we go back to the last page, you can see that its long neck is so it can reach the leaves of those trees. And if you look, you can see its tongue right there. It has a long, dark tongue. All right, let's learn about our next animal. Oh my goodness, look at this crazy thing. This is a porcupine. All right, let's read it all together. So let's read our title first and then our sentences. Ready? Go. Porcupine. A porcupine has quills that are long and sharp. How do quills help? Okay, I want you to think about it before we turn to the next page and find out. All right, so let's think about those long, sharp quills. How do they help our porcupine? Let's read this all together. Ready, go. Quills help keep a porcupine safe. If an animal comes too close, the porcupine backs into it. The sharp quills hurt. What might happen to this animal? All right, so what did the quills help the porcupine do? You're right, it keeps them safe. So if an animal comes too close, the porcupine backs into it. The sharp quills hurt. So, do you think this animal will be happy and stick around and try and hang out with this porcupine? No way, Jose. They're definitely going to, I'm pretty sure most of these animals run away. I wouldn't want to be stuck with one of those things. No way. All right, let's look at our next animal. We only have 2 animals left. We have the turtle and then one more. All right, so let's read our title together and then let's read our sentences. Ready, go. Turtle. A turtle has a shell that is very hard. How does a hard shell help? Okay, what do you think about it before we go to the next page? How does a hard shell help? All right, let's find out. We're going to read this all together. Ready, go. If an animal bothers a turtle, the turtle can go into its shell. When the animal goes away, the turtle comes back out. Hello, turtle. Very nice job reading. So how does the shell help? You're right, it protects it from other animals. So it puts its head and its legs in there so it can't reach it. And then the only thing that the animal can get to is that hard shell, and they can't eat that hard shell. No way. All right. Ooh, here's a question. What other animals in our story that we've read so far have things that help them stay safe? So I'm going to give you a couple seconds to think about it. All right, so certain things that keep animals safe. So I'm going to go back real quick. So remember, the color of their fur for a polar bear helps them hide. Then we have a giraffe. A giraffe's spots help it hide, so they can blend in different places, like camouflage too. And then a porcupine. It uses those quills to back into a predator that's trying to eat them because those sharp quills hurt. All right, let's look at our next animal. Ooh, I like these ones. These are pretty cool. All right, these are dolphins. So let's read our title and our sentences. Ready, go. Dolphin. A dolphin's tail has two parts called flukes. A dolphin also has two flippers. How do tail flukes and flippers help? Okay, I want you to think about it for a couple seconds before we go to the next page. Okay, turning the next page, let's find out. Okay, read together. Ready, go. A dolphin flips its tail flukes up and down to swim fast. It uses its flippers to turn to the left or right. These two dolphins are swimming away. Goodbye, dolphins. Very nice job reading. So how does the dolphin use its flippers and its flukes? All right, so its flukes are these tail on the back. Now they're saying it has a left one and a right one, so it's like 2 feet fused or grown together. And it uses it, remember you can look back, a dolphin flips its tail flukes up and down to swim fast. And then what did they use their flippers for? It uses its flippers to turn to the left or right. Very nice job. So here's a question though. They gave us the answer and told us that they used their flukes and their flippers to swim fast. Why do they need to swim fast? If you said to get away from another animal, maybe a shark wants to eat them, and also they have to swim fast to be able to catch those fish that they want to eat. All right, friends, so remember tomorrow, after you read this with me once, you read it the next day all by yourself with me on mute. So awesome job, friends, and you are going to get more videos of me reading throughout the next couple weeks, and I really hope you're enjoying them. I miss you guys so much, and I'll see you during my office hours. Have a great day, first grade.